This is a quick little video, might be about 5 minutes or so, something like that. And it's a call to action. It's a call to action to everybody who owns a local market. If you're a football club, if you're a tennis club, if you're a local council, wherever you are, whoever you could be a local racetrack. Don't care who you are. It's a call to action. I just spent the morning / part of the afternoon with my daughter. My daughter, if you don't know anything about her, she's cancer survivor. She's got a raft of specific needs. You want to find out more about it? Look her up. In short, this is a kid that's been, for most of her life, written off by the education system. She's also selectively mute, but she's an entrepreneur and she wants to develop more. And this is a story for everybody to never, ever write anybody off, ever. So Addy's into a couple of things that she's into. Horse riding. She loves horses. Been doing it, I don't know, 6 months after she got diagnosed with a brain tumor. Maybe about a year. And then also she's recently, past 6 months or a year, she's been into, resin art. Yeah. And it's really great for her. It's great for her concentration, for her fine motor skills, for a raft of things. And when she started doing it, she popped to a local climbing gym that my son goes to, and she was wearing a necklace. And they turned around and said, "Why don't you sell it?" It's like, "Sorry, what?" And she was like saying, "Well, it's beautiful stuff that you're producing. Why don't you sell it?" Now, Addy's selectively mute, and for people anybody that's out there that doesn't know what selectively mute is, it means that people are selectively choosing not to speak. And it can be so bad, and it was so bad for my daughter that her previous school, or in the school that she actually went to, they didn't even know she could speak. She went there for 1 year and they had no idea she could speak. They would sign to her. Now, Addy can speak, and Addy can really speak, but she's selectively mute. And she'll speak about certain subjects. And like everybody, she also gets anxious as well. But that's natural. Everybody does. Anyway, coming back to the climbing gym and the glitter and the entrepreneurship. Basically, what happened was a lovely person called Becky at the climbing gym turned around and said to Addy, "Why don't you sell it?" And it's like, "Sorry, what?" So Addy, who is selectively mute, who has barely gone to school because the system has failed her, who her maths isn't great, had a 2-hour business meeting to discuss pricing and positioning and who you would sell it to, who your market would be. For 2 hours, there was a 14-year-old kid having a discussion with a 40-year-old lady. She's not an old lady, she's a lovely lady, but a 40-year-old woman discussing pricing, marketing strategy, time, where you get the stuff from. And after that, Addy came out buzzing, absolutely buzzing, thinking, I can sell this. So a week later, goes along, produces a whole bunch of stuff, and puts it at the local climbing gym. Within a week, Addy's made some money. Not a lot, but she sold about 5 pieces. And she's buzzing because not only do people like her work, she's not giving it away for free. And people value what she's made. Yeah, great, it takes ages to make the stuff, but people have valued her time. They quantified her time in financial terms, and she got a reward. And it gave her a buzz. So we turned out that we actually found there was a local market to where we live, and we phoned them up to find out if we could go along. And we went along I think it was the last market before Christmas, around November time. And it was quiet. Addy, who is selectively mute, spoke to people and sold a few pieces. It covered it certainly covered the cost. I don't mean it certainly covered. It covered the cost of the stand. And she spoke to people, and she was selling her pieces, of which I'm going to show you her pieces now because this is a blatant sales pitch for my daughter. There you go. if you can see this, it is I don't know if you can quite see it. There is a horse there. There you go. Can you see there's a horse? And it takes hours to make this. Look at the detail. Look at the absolute detail. Everything, every one of these is positioned very, very carefully. This is Addy's card. There you go. Then here's another piece that Addy made. They're earrings. Because what she realised from the market is that some people make earrings and not just pendants. So she started making earrings. And Addy's been horse riding for ages. She's into horses. Each one of these is perfectly placed. Takes her hours, but she enjoys it. She gets a buzz out of it. There you go. And then initially she started making necklaces. There you go. Here's another horsey one. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? Each one of these, there you go. Camera's in place. Done. And she also realised and she found out that people might not necessarily be into horses. So she made a few other things as well, like this. Where are we? There you go. Look at the detail. This card is hers. Everything that she's done is hers. She's learned how to source the resin. She's learned to go online to look where the sparkly stuff is. I think that's my technical term for the things. She also found out, let's have a look, because she's produced all of this and more. And she realised as well that actually, when she was at the market, a whole bunch of people were walking along with dogs. And she thought, you know what, there might be a market opportunity. So she started making stuff for people to put on their dog collars, on their dogs, so they can have little pendants or people are into dogs. And roughly where we live, around the area, horses are all around. We live near, there are fields around and there are just horses around, this kind of stuff. So but what she understood was it's what people would buy. She also realised that actually the bits that weren't quite perfect, she created an odd bin, an odd box, an incomplete stuff. So nothing goes to waste. She didn't learn that at school because she doesn't go to school. She learned that through the opportunity of speaking to businesses, through the opportunity of going to a market and seeing customers, talking to customers, understanding what customers are all about. Now, this is sorry to repeat this, but this is something that somebody who the education system has, for all intents and purposes, or has written off, who the education system says can't speak, is selectively mute, or wasn't speaking in class. So where am I going with this? Well, number one, I'm a proud dad, an incredibly proud dad, knackered one at that, but a really proud dad. Because Addy spent, I don't know, was it from about 8:45-ish this morning to about 2:00, and she had a cold, and she went, no, doesn't matter, don't care, not bothered about my cold. I can have a drink, I can get over it. Coming up to the Easter, I can have a rest, it's fine. And she got a buzz out of it, and she went along to the market, and when we were talking to the customers that were coming along, she told my wife and I, Addy told Emma and I, to go away. No, they're not here. Like, sorry, what? Addy, who hasn't been taught maths, she's got taught maths by us, but she didn't get taught by maths by the education system, the mainstream education system, figured out the change. She knew what change to give. We were there to supervise and give the change, and she turned around. It was funny because she turned around to us and the people and said, these people haven't helped me at all. And we were thinking, we drove her there, we put up the stand, we helped set up the table, a whole lot. But don't worry about it. We're not part of this. But there's this pride. There's an inherent pride in this kid who the education system had written off. And she's getting a buzz out of it. And she's planning on doing another market because she knows that it takes her ages. And she knows that she's earning, pennies per hour. But she's seeing that that people are valuing her art, and she's discussing how she's putting the stuff in. She will discuss, pardon me, the colours, the size, the planning. Yeah, she'll discuss all of this stuff. She'll plan out. She was discussing why she has that colour background, how it can be seen. It's all planned. And she's discussing with the customers, and she's talking to the kids as well and saying, well, actually, if you don't like this, I've got another one. And she understands about price points as well. And she understands that maybe a kid might be actually able to, might be able to get a little bit of pocket money and doesn't have that much money. So she'll funnel them. She'll push them, or not push them, but guide them to maybe an area where they can afford it. And she'll know, and she spotted some grandparents and basically started engaging with them, found out they had grandkids. Said, well, actually, what does your grandchild like? Are they into horses or into dogs? Or do they like flowers? And she knew her stock. She knew the stuff that she'd created. And this is a kid who hasn't had any business lessons, well, not formal ones. And she's learned. So I'm going to finish this because it might be boring people to tears. And I'm terribly sorry, but I'm a proud dad. This is a call to action, and I'm simply asking people, and I'm going to put this out on LinkedIn and it's going to sit on YouTube. Yeah. But if you own an area where you got market stalls, if you own a football club, a horse racing club or whatever it is, and you host Sunday markets, Thursday markets, or you have market stalls, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to reach out to your local communities with kids who have got specific needs. I'm telling you to go out there, pick up the phone, go out on social media and find out if there are any kids, young adults, people with specific needs or special needs in the community who are artists, who've got stuff that they can sell, that you can invite along to these places where they can show off what they can do. And then they can then communicate, they can develop their skills. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to do this. Because not only will you raise your profile, not only will the word get around amongst the special needs or specific needs community, you're going to get more footfall, but you are going to do so much social good for these people because you're going to build up their self-esteem, you're going to build up their confidence, you're going to build up their communication skills. You are going to make them a better place, and you're going to make your place better, and you're going to make these people feel so much better. And the parents are going to be off the chart like I am. Help them develop and grow. It's easy. It's simple. Pick up the phone to your local communities, reach out on social media and find out if there are any kids who are creative, who you can invite to those spaces and places so they can sell their stuff. Thank you very much for watching. These people deserve an opportunity. Kids like my children deserve an opportunity to be valued. And they enjoy being valued as well. They enjoy being rewarded. Give them the chance, give them the space to be entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.